Hello everyone, welcome to LexTalk World Talk Show presented by ClickAway Creators. Today we have Mr. Sameet Gambhir with us. Mr. Gambhir is a corporate legal professional and company secretary with over 25 years of experience in different fields and is presently a VP and CS of DCM Shriram Ltd, New Delhi, India. Mr. Gambhir's expertise include regulatory and corporate legal matters, corporate compliances under various corporate laws, SEBI regulations, RBI and FEMA matters, contract management, and legal documentation. He has been recognized by many awards in his career. To name a few, we have Top In-House Counsel by Forbes India 2021 and Lex Falcon Award in the field of governance and compliance in 2022. And as I said, we have a lot to discuss about him. So without further ado, let me introduce you to the man himself. Hello, Mr. Gambhir. How are you doing?
I am good, G. How are you? Thank you very much for having me here.
I'm doing great, sir. Thank you very much for asking. And thank you very much for getting some time out of your busy schedule for the show.
No
And
problem.
again, welcome to the next edition of the Lex Falcon discussion, the Lex Talk discussion. As I said, I've tried my level best to cover things about you in my bio. But my first question, I want to dwell down into things furthermore. So my first question to you is, if you can give us a brief about the core business of DCM Shriram Ltd as an in-house corporate counsel and company secretary. How have you been able to contribute to the company's functioning processes during your tenure of 7+ years here?
Sure. Thank you very much. So I think DCM Shriram Limited is one of the very old organization in Delhi. So DCM Shriram Limited currently it's a kind of a business conglomerate. It's around 9,000 plus crores of a company. So the main businesses are into three categories basically. One is agri-rural business, second is chlorovinyl business, and third is some value-added business. So if you talk about agri-rural business, so we have urea manufacturing, sugar, we have sugar mills. Then farm solution means there is a trading of a lot of crop care products, nutrition products for the crops, and a lot of variety of other products. Then also we have seed business, wherein we are in the production as well as research of hybrid seeds in some part of India and outside India also. If you're talking about the chlorovinyl business, so we have a plant in Gujarat as well as Kota. So we are into caustic soda. So it's basically chlorovinyl products, caustic soda, chlorine, calcium carbide, and then PVC resins and compounds and cement, etc. These are some byproducts. So these are the main businesses. Plus in the value-added business, if you ask me, so we have a production of Fenesta windows. It's a very popular brand actually throughout India. The Fenesta is a brand which is owned by us. Fenesta is a product of UPVC and aluminum windows and doors, which is very high quality UPVC windows. So these are all the business of the DCM Shriram Limited mainly. So far as my role goes, I have spent more than now 7.5 years with DCM Shriram Limited as their company secretary, and I joined as a general manager. Now I'm vice president corporate law, so in-house counsel types. So my role as a company secretary, and if you talk to me in-house counsel as corporate law, is very, very significant. Particularly, when you are a company secretary of a listed entity in India. Now there is a lot. There's a lot to do in terms of governance, compliance, and all. If you talk about my journey, so my main focus was, though there's a lot of other things also, but my main focus was but the main focus was on a lot of governance and compliances related issues. To review the existing policies, processes of the company, then to help to make new policies on processes which were required under the law as well as good governance. Sorry. Then then thereafter digitization of compliances, digitization of other processes to the extent possible. This has been some of the things which were taken by me out of the way, and to improve the governance structure and processes structure. Then, as a company secretary, the board governance is also very important. Like we have independent directors, so induction of independent director, letting them know about the company, letting them know about the business of the company, advising or assisting the board in terms of their governance and their compliances. So whatever the issue board feels, so that the meetings of the boards are smoothly held, Meeting of the committees are smoothly held. Now we have the risk management committee also, CSR committee also, for examples other than the audit and NRC committees. And on the top of it, I'm also involved in corporate restructuring, merger, etc., because the corporate restructuring and corporate law function. So I think me and my team was deeply involved in some significant mergers and restructuring of the group. We had a task force, but our team was mainly into governance and compliances issue, not only in India, but outside India also. So these are mainly, some of the contribution I would say in the last 7.5 years, apart from my routine work, I would say.
That's really brilliant. So thank you, Anish, for throwing some light on this. My next question to you is about the complexities and challenges in your profile. I mean, to put it formally, what are the complexities and challenges in your profile as the VP and CS, especially for such a big organization like DCM Shriram Limited with multiple areas of business?
Yeah, I think it's a very good question, because as I told you that listed company, being a CS of a listed company in India is actually a very, very significant and very critical job nowadays, because SEBI has, and companies at SEBI and all, they're coming up with a lot of new compliance and governance provision every day. And particularly being a multiple areas of business, there's a lot to do in that, because we have, mostly all the 8, 9 businesses in single listed entity. So there's a different dynamics. Every business has a different dynamics, and every business has a different governance and compliance related issues, be it the local issues, be it the regulatory issues, etc. So and if you really see in the last 10 years, we have seen a lot of changes in terms of the legal framework in India. We had new Companies Act in 2014, then thereafter we had new listing regulation by the SEBI in 2015, then thereafter we had new insider trading, prohibition of insider trading law. So these are all very, very challenging job for a company secretary or a lean house counsel in a listed entity. So, the compliance of SEBI listing regulation, compliance of Companies Act, day-to-day compliance, and then insider trading, governance and compliance of insider trading related issues is very, very critical nowadays, because, you have to manage, not only you have to manage the things, but you have to make sure that people are aware of it. So create sessions, to create trainings for the all employees that, when can they deal into company shares, when can they are not allowed to deal into the company shares, what kind of a governance and compliances are required in case they want to deal in the company shares. Plus, since we have foreign subsidiaries, so FEMA related compliances. And so I think all these compliances need a very high level of proactiveness, because every day we have a new compliance, and a listed company, even if you miss a small single compliance, it's very, very difficult nowadays, because there is a lot of shareholder activism in any case in India now. So I think shareholder governance, it's really needs a greater attention, because everyone is very focused in terms of shareholder governance also. So shareholder activism is of such a high level now in India. We see that even a small thing they point it out, and it goes to the public domain. So one has to be very careful, as I told you, that all this, not only all these compliances and governance, but at the same time one has to be very careful that the kind of disclosures and the kind of reporting you are giving to the shareholder or in public, these are adequate reporting, these are absolutely correct disclosures. So one has to really see once or twice or thrice that there is nothing which is going in the public, and which is something which or there is anything important which is not going to the public should go. So accordingly, governance of shareholders, governance of disclosures is very, very important. So I think the life of a company secretary in a listed company is absolutely very, very critical nowadays. It's difficult, but it's good for our governance system in India, I would say. I really enjoy that.
As they say, so with great power must come great responsibility. So kudos for that. And thank you very much for throwing some light on this. I also want to sort of add up a follow-up question, not really a follow-up question, but considering you have experience of more than 2 decades, so I guess this is the perfect question to ask you. uh, if you can sort of throw some light on your strategic or leadership style to train or develop and motivate your team every now and then.
Okay. So I think it's very important that your team is always with you. Team is always motivated, because the success of any professional or any organization is that your manpower is motivated, your team is motivated. So I got a different style of leadership, frankly. I always try to be coach of my team. I don't think that I'm a boss or I'm out of the function. For me, my team, and so I believe in taking the team along. So idea here is that, I always try to be a coach. It's or I would say it's a monkey style leadership where, the mother monkey or the father monkey sitting at one corner, but things are delegated. So I think I believe a lot of delegation, and people are doing their job. So I give them a lot of independence, a lot of delegation, with a lot of accountability and responsibility to the team. So the best part is the one that they get trained very easily and they get developed into the system very quickly. And whenever there is any bottleneck and there is any problem, I'm always available with them. So point here is that I am like a coach wherein they are doing their job, and whenever there is an issue, I am there. But I don't believe, bossism or hierarchy and all systems. So it's kind of a one team. We go to we go for lunch together, go for drinks together, and everyone is like, we call by first name to everyone also. So so I think delegation is, I think it's very important, and it's actually an art. If you have to keep your team motivated and keep your team highly energized, then you have to give them responsibilities. Engagement is very, very important. If you're only asking and giving them work and asking like a boss or a head of the function, then they will not take responsibility at their own shoulders. So my idea is that they all should take their responsibilities, and it's very, very important for their development also. And more particularly in our DCM Shriram, the HR function is very strong, frankly, and I must kudo to that, I must applaud for that, because and that's part of our legacy, I believe, because it's such a old organization and always very human centered and very people oriented organization, as everyone knows that. I think our HR is also playing a very great role in development of my team or other teams also. So they make sure that all the team members get appropriate trainings, appropriate workshops, not only in-house but outside also with the professional people. Not only technical, but at the same time leadership qualities, communication, soft skills. So I think this is all part of their development. So this is all we are doing to make them, so that they can be independent tomorrow.
Brilliant, sir. I also want to dwell down for our viewers, especially to understand the core values. So, I mean, what are the core values of DCM Shriram Limited? And as a company secretary, how do you ensure adherence to such values?
Oh yeah, but so we have a lot of respect for our core values. I think I would say that we live our core value in day-to-day basis, because the values of DCM Shriram is something on which we are very serious and everyone understands that. And there's a lot of awareness for that also. People really discuss a lot about that. So our core values is defined in one sentence. It says, I act on. I act on is, if you see the full form of I act on is, I means integrity, ACT act, A means agility, C means customer centricity, T means teamwork, O means openness, and N means newness. So this is what is our core values. Now we have this, and we really take pride in these values. I would say that day to day working, we live those values, not only in our working with our employees, with our stakeholders. We make sure that these are our values and we don't have to compromise of any of the values. That's in the DNA of the organization. It's a legacy. And if you really if you really ask me to give you more details, so this talks about ethical standards, socially responsible, deliver on promises, act with speed, deliver results, listen to your customers, long lasting relationships, collaborating working, practice empathy, humility, encourage diverse views, external orientation, innovative, be creative. So all these are imbibed in those values. So these are very important for us, and I think our organization takes a lot of time to make awareness of those values. These values, those who are new joining, those who are old, they are actually they are there in the DNA, and as I told you, we really live day in day out on our values. And at the same time, if you talk about our vision is a vibrant growth with trust, energized employees, and delighted customers. That's what our vision of the organization. So I think we take pride in our values.
I mean, that is again brilliant, sir. Because you again, I'm again circling back to the experience that you have and my luck that I'm having this session with you. I want to also have some more productive discussions in from a corporate counsel and company secretary standpoint. So in that, my first question is, what is your advice and suggestion as such a senior professional corporate counsel to upcoming counsels?
Okay. So I think I have already told many times that my idea is, and whenever somebody comes to me for advice and all, to all the upcoming counsels or CS or any professional. So first and foremost thing I see, that I always tell them that be yourself. Don't try to copy anyone. You are what you are. I think invent originality within you, because no one can replace you. You have to find out your own skill. You have to find out your own, I would say uh, the skills, or your basically what I would say is that your critical areas and all. So everyone is unique in this earth. So one, that you should not lose your originality at any cost. What you are, you should be there, and that's where you can actually do a lot of work which is required. Because if you're trying to copy someone, then you will lose your own originality also. You have to copy what? You have to copy their skill set. You have to learn from them the technical things, technologies. You have to learn from them the, court advocacy, for example. You have to learn from them that how to present the things, what should be the courteous things, how to talk to the people, how to improve your presence in the courtrooms or in the boardrooms. So all these things you must learn from the seniors or the other leaders, which will definitely help you to develop your personality, but don't lose your originality. That is one thing. Second thing is, which is very important today, that unless you are gear up with the speed of the time, we are living in a time wherein every day, there's a fast changing environment. There was a time when the things used to change in a year, 2 year, 3 years. Now we see every day things are changing. And we are already in the age of AI, ML, metaverse. Everything is there, and it has already become a reality now. So tomorrow the things will not be the same as today. So by the time you pass out from your exam or you come out from your internship, that you join an organization or courtroom, and all the things will be absolutely different. So I think you have to cope up with the speed of the changing times. Technology, you really have to gear up with you. Technology, every technological change, you should be able to adopt that. That's what my advice is, because in the fast changing timings, you really have to cope up with the time and don't lose your originality. These two things I think is very important.
Also, kind words on that part, sir. Um, my next question, in order to dwell down into this, is to have your thinking on few things. Like, do you think it is necessary for corporate counsel or company secretaries to have prior experience in industry to basically represent on behalf of the company they're working for?
So that's a chicken and egg story. Unless you work, you won't get experience. And when you go for a job, they ask for experience. So this is lifelong problem for every professional when you start your career. And one has to understand that, because you also had that your time. So I think what I never hesitate to hire the fresher also, and I prefer, depending upon the profile. If you're looking for a profile, if you have a profile for a senior position or leadership position or mid-sized position, I agree that you need a little bit experienced person. But in my team, maybe at an intern level or at a associate level or assistant manager, fresher level, I prefer to hire fresher as well. There has to be a combined a mix of the team, with the fresher to the higher experience. And that's how, because this is our duty, that all the youngsters should learn under the guidance of the trained professional. And this is how you happen. This is how, you have to hire the freshers and give them guidance, because we also have faced this situation. So I think I don't mind hiring one or two fresher always, either as an intern or, in some other positions, and, to guide them. Plus, at the same time, their internship experience is really good for us also at times. When they come out from the colleges, they have done their internship. with the big law firm, big corporates, they also give us a lot of ideas. Plus, they bring a lot of fresh energy, fresh idea, fresh perspective in the team. So I think I agree that we should have a combined great mix of the team with one or two fresher youngsters, young bloods always in the team, and diversity is also very important. Male female ratio is also very important today.
These are a few great points, Mr. Gambhir. We were also talking about the technology in previous to prior to this question. So my next, or rather, I should say, last question of this session is, how do you think would be the future scenario when there is so much of an influence and adoption of cutting edge technology like AI and ML in the job profile of corporate counsel?
So this is what I'm saying, that one has to be very, very proactive, highly proactive. One is that your technical competence or your legal competence, that's very important, because that's the base where somebody is going to hire you only once you are competent. So your competency is absolutely required. But if you are competent enough, you have a good legal acumen, you have good legal things, analysis and all. But if you are not coping up with the technology very fast, then you will be of no use tomorrow. Because I think the days have gone wherein, without technology you can do anything. Tomorrow everything is technology based, everything is AI based. Tomorrow, get today, we are already in this era. We are working in metaverse, we're working in machine learning everywhere. The blockchain, crypto, I don't know whether they're still not legal, but tomorrow there'll be some issues relating to that also. So unless as a counsel or as a lawyer or as a company secretary you are proficient with the technology, and you are coping up or gearing up yourself with day-to-day update in the technology as well as your legal issues, it will be very difficult for you to survive now in the tomorrow's cutthroat competition. Because and the problem is with a little bit little bit experienced people, because all the youngsters are coming who are very expert in technology. The people with the 2-year, 4-year, 5-year, 10-year experience will have a hard time tomorrow to compete with them. So I think one has to, at whatever age you are, whatever experience you are, you have to cope up with the technology to be able to survive in this world.
I mean, thank you very much for again doing a great session with us, Mr. Gambhir. In this session, we not just about you, about DCM Shriram, but we have discussed about a lot of things from different angles, from a corporate standpoint, and from different angles of the technology as well. So I hope you enjoyed this session. I really did, and I hope our viewers will also do that. So thank you very much for sharing such great insights with us. And we look forward to having a chat with you again in the future on some other trending topics in the international legal industry. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us today.
Sure. Thank you very much for having me there. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
It was our pleasure, sir. And for our viewers, if you like this chat with Mr. Sameet Gambhir, I want you to like this video, to share this video, and click on that red button and subscribe to ClickAway Creators YouTube channel to appreciate what we do. And you have more coming in from legal industry leaders like Mr. Sameet Gambhir. This was Sagar for LexTalk World signing off.